I should have taken the umbrella. The thought hits me as cold October rain soaks through my jacket, dripping down the back of my neck while I wait for the bus that's already 15 minutes late. Chicago weather doesn't care that I'm working 2 jobs, or that my 6-year-old son is home with Mrs. Lara, who charges $20 a week I can barely spare. The city just keeps moving, indifferent to people like me who are trying desperately not to drown. By the time I reach the corporate building on Michigan Avenue, my green olive coat is completely drenched. I shake it out in the service entrance, water pooling on the concrete floor, while I clock in at 11:43 p.m. 7 minutes late. Again. My supervisor will dock my pay, but the bus schedule isn't exactly designed for night shift janitors. "Harper, you're on executive floors tonight," Jenkins says without looking up from his clipboard. He's 60-something with a permanent scowl and zero patience for excuses. "All of them?" Thompson called in sick. "You'll cover 25 through 30. He finally glances at me. "Problem? 5 additional floors means I won't finish until almost 7 in the morning, which means I'll have maybe an hour of sleep before Noah wakes up asking for breakfast. But I need this job. The rent is already 2 weeks overdue." "No problem," I lie. The executive floors are always eerily quiet at night. During the day, they're filled with people making decisions that affect thousands of lives, moving money that could feed families for years. Now, it's just me, my cleaning cart, and the ghosts of ambition that seem to linger in these expensive carpets. I start on the 25th floor, methodically working through empty offices. Dust the desk, empty the trash, wipe down surfaces, replace paper towels in the bathroom. Repeat. My hands move automatically while my mind drifts to more pressing problems. Noah needs new shoes. His current pair has holes in the soles that I've been patching with cardboard. But winter is coming and cardboard won't be sufficient when snow hits. 3 weeks ago, things started disappearing from these floors. Small stuff at first. A fancy pen here, a crystal paperweight there. Last Friday, someone reported a missing watch. Now security has been increased, cameras everywhere, and Jenkins watches us like we're all criminals waiting to be caught. I don't blame him. Desperation makes people do things they wouldn't normally consider. But I won't steal. Daniel wouldn't have wanted that. My husband died 4 years ago when a construction site accident took him from us, leaving me with a toddler, medical debt, and the kind of exhaustion that settles into your bones permanently. He always said we'd build something better for Noah, give him opportunities we never had. I'm trying to keep that promise, even if it's killing me slowly. The 28th floor is different. The air conditioning is turned up too high, making the space feel like a walk-in freezer. I drape my wet coat over my cart, the fabric still heavy with rain, and push through the double glass doors leading to the corner office. The nameplate reads, Vincent Russo, CEO. I've cleaned this office dozens of times, but never actually met the man. He's usually gone by the time my shift starts, leaving behind expensive cologne lingering in the air and papers scattered across his massive mahogany desk. Tonight, though, he's here. Vincent Russo sits slumped in his leather chair, head tilted back, eyes closed. His dark hair is slightly disheveled, his tie loosened around his neck. The jacket of what must be a tailored suit hangs on a nearby coat rack. For a moment I freeze, unsure whether to back out quietly or announce myself. Then I notice the exhaustion etched into his face. Even in sleep, dark circles beneath his eyes, tension in his jaw, fingers curled loosely on the armrest. He looks lonely. The thought surprises me, but I can't shake it. Here's a man who probably has everything, money, power, success, yet something about the way he's collapsed in this chair suggests he carries weights invisible to everyone else. I should leave. Let him rest. But there are protocols, and if Jenkins finds out I skipped the CEO's office, I'll be fired. So I move quietly, carefully, starting with the bookshelf on the far wall. I dust around leather-bound volumes that probably cost more than my monthly rent, straighten papers on the side table, empty the small trash bin near the window. My eyes keep drifting back to him, Vincent Russo. I've seen his picture in the building newsletter, but photographs don't capture the sharp angle of his jaw or the scar cutting through his chin. He looks younger asleep, maybe mid-30s, though it's hard to tell. There's something almost vulnerable about him now, stripped of whatever armor he wears during business hours. I notice the cash immediately. It's sitting in an open desk drawer, bills fanned out carelessly, easily $2,000. A test, maybe? See which desperate janitor can't resist? The camera mounted in the corner probably has a perfect view. I ignore the money completely, wiping down the desk surface around it. When I finish cleaning, I step back and survey the office. Everything is spotless. But the air conditioning is still blasting frigid air, and Vincent Russo is still asleep in his chair without a jacket. Before I can overthink it, I grab my coat from the cart. It's still damp from the rain, but it's better than nothing. I approach slowly, holding my breath like I'm approaching a sleeping animal that might startle. Up close, I can see more details. The faint stubble on his face, the way his breathing is deep and steady, the slight furrow between his eyebrows like even his dreams can't give him peace. Carefully, I drape the coat over his shoulders. The words slip out before I can stop them. Barely a whisper. Nobody should carry the world alone. It's something Daniel used to say to me during our worst times, when I'd work double shifts while he recovered from injuries, when bills piled up faster than we could pay them. Nobody should carry the world alone. We're supposed to help each other. I step back quickly, suddenly embarrassed. This man doesn't need my pity or my philosophy. He's a billionaire CEO, and I'm a janitor projecting my own loneliness onto a stranger. I grab my cart and leave, pulling the door shut quietly behind me. The hallway stretches ahead, empty and cold. 29th and 30th floors still to go. My shift ends in 4 hours. Then I'll take the bus home, sleep for 60 minutes, wake Noah, make breakfast, walk him to school, catch 3 hours of sleep, wake up, work my afternoon shift at the diner, come home, put Noah to bed, take the bus back here and do it all over again. This is my life now. Small kindnesses to strangers, invisible work that keeps the world turning, and the constant grinding effort to give my son something better than survival. I don't know that the sleeping man in the corner office isn't sleeping at all. I don't know that my whispered words have just shattered something inside him. I don't know that everything is about to change. Right now, I just push my cart toward the elevator and keep moving, because that's what people like me do. We keep moving. Or we drown. 3 days pass before I see him again. Not Vincent Russo and his expensive suit and corner office, but someone different entirely. I'm in the basement storage level, hunting for industrial-strength cleaner that Jenkins swears we have but nobody can ever find. The space is dim, lit by fluorescent tubes that buzz like dying insects. Rows of metal shelving stretch into shadows, packed with supplies, archived boxes and furniture nobody wants, but nobody will throw away. It's nearly 1 a.m. and I'm alone down here. Or I thought I was. Need help finding something? I jump, spinning around so fast my elbow clips a shelf. A man stands about 10 feet away, wearing navy coveralls and holding a clipboard. He's tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair visible beneath a work cap pulled low. There's something familiar about him that I can't place, but my pulse is racing too hard to focus. "Sorry," he says, raising one hand. "Didn't mean to scare you. I'm Vince. Started last week in maintenance. Lily." My voice comes out steadier than I feel. "I'm looking for the heavy-duty floor cleaner, the stuff for marble." "Ah, yeah, that's always misplaced." He moves past me, and I catch a faint scent of cedar and something else. Something expensive that doesn't match the worn coveralls. 3rd row, top shelf. Nobody puts it back in the right spot. I follow him through the maze of shelving. He's right. The cleaner sits on the highest shelf, completely out of my reach. I stretch up on my toes anyway, fingers barely grazing the bottom of the container. "Let me." Vince steps beside me, close but not invasive, and reaches up. His hand closes over the bottle at the same moment mine does. The contact is brief, just skin against skin for half a second. But something strange passes between us. A warmth, maybe, or recognition. He pulls his hand back quickly. "Thanks," I say, taking the bottle. "These shelves weren't built for people under 5'8". Design flaw." His tone is light, almost teasing. "You work the night shift too?" "Executive floors. You?" "Wherever they send me. Broken lights, stuck doors, mysterious leaks that appear at 3 a.m. He gestures vaguely at the ceiling. "Glamorous work. I find myself almost smiling. Welcome to the glamorous world of night maintenance. Fair warning, the heating system down here sounds like it's haunted around 2 a.m. I'll keep that in mind. He pauses, studying me with dark eyes that seem too sharp, too observant for a casual maintenance worker. You've been here a while? 8 months. You picking up on the exciting building gossip already? Just trying to figure out who does what. Makes the job easier. He shifts his weight, the clipboard still in hand. Heard there's been some thefts up on the executive floors. My guard goes up immediately. Yeah, nothing to do with me though. Didn't think it was. His response comes quick, genuine. Just seems like the kind of thing that makes everyone nervous. People start watching each other instead of working together. He's right about that. Jenkins has been scrutinizing every move we make, checking bags, reviewing camera footage obsessively. The atmosphere has gone from tense to suffocating. It's temporary, I say, though I'm not sure I believe it. Things will settle down. We stand there in awkward silence for a moment. Then Vince gestures to a large box on a nearby shelf. You need this moved? Looks like someone left it in the wrong section. It's supposed to go down 1 level, but it weighs a ton. On 3 then. He positions himself on one side while I take the other. 1, 2, 3. We lift together. The box is heavy, packed with archived files that nobody will ever read, but the company is legally required to keep. My arms strain with the effort, but Vince seems to barely notice the weight. We maneuver it onto a lower shelf, and I catch myself breathing harder than I'd like to admit. Thanks, I say again. Would have taken me 3 trips. Any time. He pulls off his cap, running a hand through his hair. So, night shift. How do you manage it? The schedule, I mean. It's brutal. Coffee. Lots of coffee. I don't mention that I'm working 2 jobs, that my son is home with a neighbor right now, that I haven't had a full night's sleep in 4 years. Those aren't details you share with coworkers you just met. You get used to it. Do you? There's something in his voice, a knowing quality that suggests he understands more than he's letting on. Or do you just get better at pretending you're not exhausted? The observation cuts closer than I expect. Bit of both, probably. Vince replaces his cap, adjusting the brim. Well, if you ever need help moving heavy stuff or reaching high shelves, I'm usually around. Night shift solidarity. I'll remember that. He nods and starts to walk away, then pauses. Hey, Lily, the cleaner you just grabbed, it's too strong for marble. You'll strip the finish. You want the one in the green bottle? 2 shelves down. I look at the bottle in my hands, then at the shelf he's indicating. He's absolutely right. The label clearly states it's for concrete, not marble. How did you know I needed it for marble? Lucky guess. But the way he says it doesn't sound like a guess at all. You said executive floors. They've all got marble. Before I can respond, he's gone, disappearing into the maze of shelving with his clipboard. I stand there holding the wrong cleaner, feeling like I just had a conversation that meant more than the words exchanged. I swap the bottles and head back to the service elevator, my mind turning over the encounter. There was something off about Vince. Not bad, just off. The way he moved, confident and controlled. The way he looked at me, like he was trying to solve a puzzle. The expensive scent that didn't match his work clothes. The elevator doors open on the 28th floor, and I push my cart into the familiar hallway. Vincent Russo's office is dark tonight. Empty. My coat disappeared after I left it draped over his shoulders. Probably thrown away by morning cleaning staff who assumed it was trash. It was falling apart anyway. I clean methodically, trying to focus on the work instead of the strange interaction in the basement. But my thoughts keep drifting back to Vince, to the warmth in his voice when he offered help, to the careful way he kept distance but still made me feel seen. Nobody sees people like me. We're invisible. The ones who clean up messes, restock bathrooms, make sure the corporate world runs smoothly without ever being acknowledged. Daniel used to say we were the foundation, the people holding everything else up. But foundations don't get noticed until they crack. I'm wiping down a conference table when the lights flicker. Once. Twice. Then a sharp pop overhead. I look up just in time to see the fluorescent tube explode in a shower of sparks and glass. Instinct makes me throw my arms over my head. But someone grabs me first. Strong hands pull me backward, spinning me around so fast I barely process what's happening. My face presses against a solid chest while glass rains down, bouncing off shoulders that aren't mine. The cascade stops. Silence rushes back in. I'm standing in Vince's arms, breathing hard, his grip still tight around me like he's shielding me from something more dangerous than a broken light. "You okay?" His voice rumbles through his chest. "Yeah, I think so." I pull back slightly, looking up at him. "Are you?" "Fine." But when I glance at his arm, I see the torn fabric where a burning filament must have grazed him. The coverall sleeve is ripped open, exposing his forearm. And the scars. They're old, faded to silver, but unmistakable. Burns, maybe, crossing his skin in patterns that look deliberate. Not accidental injuries, but something else. Something that hurt badly once. Vince notices me staring and pulls his arm back, but not before I see him tense. "What happened?" The question comes out softer than I intend. "Long time ago." He rolls his sleeve down carefully, covering the marks. "Ancient history. That must have hurt. Once." He meets my eyes, and for a second, I see something raw there. Pain, yes, but also surprise. Like he expected judgment instead of empathy. Doesn't anymore. I want to ask more. Want to understand what leaves scars like that. But his expression has closed off. Walls slamming back into place. "We should report the light," I say instead. "Maintenance needs to check the whole system before someone else gets hurt." A ghost of a smile touches his mouth. "Right. I am maintenance." "Oh." Heat creeps up my neck. "I forgot. I'll handle it." He glances at the shattered glass scattered across the floor. "You should probably get back to work before someone notices we're both missing." "Yeah. Okay." But I hesitate, caught by something I can't name. "Vince? Thanks. For the shield thing." Instinct. He's already pulling out his phone, presumably to call in the electrical issue. Good instincts. I gather my cleaning supplies and leave, but the image of those scars stays with me. Not because they're ugly, they're not, but because of how he looked when I asked about them. Like he expected me to recoil, and when I didn't, he didn't know what to do with my kindness. I know that feeling. I've carried it since Daniel died, since I became the poor widow that people pity but don't really see. The one whose tragedy is acknowledged but never truly understood. Maybe Vince carries his own tragedy. Maybe that's why he felt familiar from the start. Or maybe I'm projecting again, finding connections where none exist because loneliness makes you desperate for understanding. Either way, I spend the rest of my shift thinking about a maintenance worker with expensive cologne and scars that tell stories he won't share. Vince starts showing up during my shifts with increasing frequency. Not obviously, not in a way that feels invasive, but he's always there when I need an extra pair of hands or when a supply closet refuses to unlock. We fall into an easy rhythm over the next week. Conversations that start about work and drift into territory more personal than I usually allow. "Your kid," he says one night while we're reorganizing a storage room someone destroyed during the day shift. "How old?" "6. Noah." I stack boxes of copy paper with more force than necessary. "He's with a neighbor right now. Mrs. Lara watches him when I work nights. That's gotta be hard. The schedule." "It's temporary." The lie tastes familiar on my tongue. I've been saying that for 4 years. I'm saving up to move to a better neighborhood, someplace where the schools are decent and I don't hear gunshots every weekend. Vince lifts a box that probably weighs 60 pounds like it's nothing. "Where are you thinking?" "There's a place in Queens near the park. Rent's higher, but the landlord actually fixes things when they break. Kids play outside after dark without parents panicking." I pause, embarrassed by how much I'm revealing. "It's stupid, just a dream." "It's not stupid." His voice goes quiet, almost fierce. "Wanting your kid to be safe isn't stupid." Something in his tone makes me look up. He's staring at the wall, jaw tight, like he's somewhere else entirely, somewhere darker. "You have kids?" I ask. "No." The word comes out clipped, then softer. "Never had the chance to build that kind of life. It's not too late." "You're what, mid-30s?" 34. He sets the box down carefully. "But some lives don't leave room for normal things. Family, stability. You make choices when you're young and stupid. And then you spend the rest of your existence living with the consequences. I want to ask what choices he made, what consequences he's carrying. But the vulnerability on his face stops me. Instead, I say, Daniel, my husband, he used to say we're never stuck, that every day is a chance to choose something different. He sounds like he was a good man. He was. Past tense, always past tense. Car accident 4 years ago. Drunk driver ran a red light. Noah was 2. He doesn't really remember his father, which is maybe a mercy. Or maybe it's another kind of tragedy. I can't decide. Vince looks at me then, really looks, and I see recognition in his dark eyes. Not pity, but understanding. Loss changes you, makes you either harder or softer. There's no middle ground. Which did it make you? Harder. He doesn't elaborate, just goes back to organizing supplies. You? Softer, I think. Or maybe just more tired. I laugh, but it comes out hollow. Some days I can't tell the difference. We work in silence for a while. The building settles around us, creaking and groaning like a living thing. Outside, Chicago sprawls in all directions. Millions of people sleeping or working or struggling through their own private wars. I used to find the city overwhelming. Now it just feels lonely. Lily. Vince's voice breaks the quiet. If you could go anywhere, do anything, what would it be? The question catches me off guard. What do you mean? I mean if money wasn't an issue. If you didn't have to work 2 jobs. If you could just exist for a while without fighting to survive. What would you do? Nobody's ever asked me that. Not since Daniel died. I think about it. Really think. While stacking the last box. I'd take Noah to the beach, I finally say. Somewhere warm where the water's clear. He's never seen the ocean, never built a sandcastle or collected shells. I'd want to watch him discover that, you know? See the world be bigger than our 3-block radius. I swallow against the sudden tightness in my throat. And I'd sleep. God, I'd sleep for days. When I look up, Vince is watching me with an expression I can't read. Sad, maybe. Or angry. Or both. You deserve that, he says. The beach. The sleep. All of it. Deserve doesn't pay bills. No, it doesn't. He closes the distance between us, and my breath catches. But he just hands me a bottle of water from the supply shelf. You should stay hydrated. Night shifts dehydrate you faster than you think. I take the water, fingers brushing his again. That same warmth, that same strange current of recognition. Thanks. Anytime. The word feels like a promise. Over the following days, I start noticing things. Small things that don't quite add up. The way Vince always seems to know where I am in the building. Appearing just when I need help. The expensive watch barely visible beneath his coverall sleeve. The way other maintenance workers defer to him. Like he's not actually one of them. And then there's the car. I see it on my way home from my afternoon diner shift. A black sedan with tinted windows parked across from the bus stop. It's there again the next day. And the day after that. Always the same vehicle. Always watching. Noah notices too. Mama, why is that car always there? Probably just someone who lives nearby, baby. But my instincts scream otherwise. That night, I find something outside our apartment door. A small object wrapped in tissue paper, sitting innocently on the worn hallway carpet. I pick it up carefully, unwrapping layers until I reveal what's inside. A brooch. Antique gold with sapphires catching the dim light. Intricate filigree work that speaks of craftsmanship from another era. It's the kind of thing you see in museums behind velvet ropes, not on the floor of a rundown building in Chicago. What's that? Noah peers over my shoulder. I don't know. My hands shake slightly. Someone must have dropped it. But people in this building don't own things like this. We're all struggling, all barely hanging on. This brooch is worth thousands, maybe more. And it was left specifically at my door. The next morning, I bring it to the building's lost and found, explaining to the security guard where I found it. He looks at me like I'm crazy. Ma'am, if someone lost something that valuable, they'd have reported it immediately. Maybe they haven't noticed yet. Or maybe it's yours, and you're trying to do the right thing. He takes the brooch reluctantly. I'll log it. If nobody claims it in 30 days, it's legally yours. I don't want it. I just want it returned to whoever lost it. He studies me for a long moment. You're one of the night cleaners, right, Harper? Yes. There's been talk about the thefts. My stomach drops. I didn't steal anything. I didn't say you did, but his tone suggests he's not entirely convinced. Just interesting that you found something so valuable. I leave before the conversation can deteriorate further, but paranoia follows me home. Someone left that brooch at my door deliberately, either to frame me or to test me. Either option is terrifying. Noah has another nightmare that night. I wake to his crying, stumbling into his small bedroom where he's tangled in sheets, eyes wide with fear. Mama? The man was back. What man, baby? I gather him into my arms, feeling his heart race against my chest. The one in my dreams. He was standing outside our door, just standing there. Noah's voice trembles. He said, "Protect her." I think he meant you. Cold dread seeps into my bones. What did this man look like? Tall, wearing a fancy suit. He looked sad, Mama. Really, really sad. I hold Noah until he falls back asleep. But I can't shake the unease. A child's nightmare shouldn't feel this real, this specific. And the timing, right after finding the brooch, feels too coincidental. The following night at work, I'm jumpy. Every shadow seems menacing. Every sound amplified. I'm cleaning the 26th floor when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me. Hello? Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a voice, distorted and mechanical. Stay away from him. Who is this? You're being watched. You and your son. Stay away or you'll regret it. The line goes dead. I stand frozen in the empty hallway, phone clutched in my shaking hand. This is real. The car following me, the brooch, Noah's nightmares, now this. Someone is targeting me, and I don't understand why. I should call the police. Should report the threatening call, the stalking, everything. But what would I tell them? That I'm a janitor being threatened by someone I can't identify for reasons I don't understand? That my 6-year-old is having dreams about sad men in suits? They'd think I was paranoid or unstable. The elevator dings. Doors slide open. Vince steps out, still in his coveralls, tool belt around his waist. He takes one look at my face and crosses the distance between us in 3 strides. What happened? I don't know. The words tumble out. Someone called me, threatened me, and there's been a car following me, and my son is having nightmares, and someone left an expensive brooch outside my apartment, and I don't understand what's happening. His expression goes dark. Not scared, but furious. When did the call start? Just now, 5 minutes ago. And the car? How long has it been following you? Almost a week. I'm trembling now, adrenaline crashing through my system. Vince, I'm scared. I have a son. If someone's targeting me, he's in danger. He pulls out his phone, types something rapidly. Then he looks at me with an intensity that should frighten me, but somehow doesn't. Listen carefully. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? I barely know you. I know. But right now, I'm the only person who can help you. He glances down the hallway, jaw tight. Things are happening that you don't understand yet. Dangerous things. But I promise you, I won't let anyone hurt you or Noah. Why would you promise that? You're a maintenance worker. What can you possibly do? More than you think. His phone buzzes. He reads the message and curses under his breath. I need to make a call. Stay here. Don't go anywhere alone. Understand? Before I can respond, he's walking away. Phone pressed to his ear. Voice low and urgent. I catch fragments. Increase security. Identify the caller. Find out who's making moves. This isn't a maintenance worker coordinating a repair. This is someone giving orders. Someone with authority and resources. I watch Vince disappear around the corner, and one thought crystallizes with terrifying clarity. I have no idea who he really is. But whoever he is, he's been lying to me from the start. I leave my shift 2 hours early. Jenkins can fire me if he wants. I don't care anymore. Fear has replaced every other priority, sharpening my world down to one single objective. Get to Noah. Mrs. Lara's apartment is on the 2nd floor. I take the stairs 2 at a time, my heart hammering so loud I can hear it in my ears. It's 4:17 in the morning. Noah should be asleep on her couch, safe and unaware of the nightmare unfolding around us. I knock, trying to keep the panic out of my movements. Mrs. Lara opens the door in her bathrobe, glasses askew, looking confused and worried. "Lily? What's wrong?" "I need to take Noah home, now." "But it's so early. Your shift doesn't end until—" "Please." The word cracks. "I just need my son." She doesn't argue, just steps aside. Noah is curled on her worn sofa, clutching his stuffed elephant, still deep in sleep. I gather him into my arms, and he barely stirs, just nuzzles against my shoulder with a soft exhale. "Everything okay?" Mrs. Lara asks quietly. "I don't know," the honest answer, "but I'll pay you for the full night. I'll bring the money by tomorrow. Don't worry about the money. Just be safe. Safe." The word feels like a luxury I can no longer afford. I carry Noah down the stairs and out into the cold morning air. The street is nearly empty, just a few cars passing, their headlights cutting through the pre-dawn darkness. My car is parked half a block away, a 2008 Honda with a broken passenger window I've covered with plastic and tape. It's not much, but it runs. I'm fumbling for my keys when I see him, Vince, standing beside my car like he's been waiting. But he's not wearing coveralls anymore. He's in dark jeans and a leather jacket, and even in the dim streetlight he looks different. Dangerous. Real. "What are you doing here?" My voice comes out sharper than intended. Noah stirs in my arms. "Making sure you're safe. By stalking me? By following me home?" I adjust Noah's weight, putting the car between us. "Who are you?" And don't say Vince the maintenance guy, because I know that's a lie. He runs a hand through his hair, and I see the war playing out across his face. Truth versus protection. Finally, he speaks. "My name is Vincent Russo. I own the building where you work. I'm not maintenance. I never was." The words hit like a physical blow. "You own the Vincent Russo? The CEO?" "Yes. Why would you pretend to be someone else? Why lie to me?" "Because I needed to understand you." He takes a step closer, and I take one back. Small things were disappearing from the executive floors. I thought it might be someone on the cleaning crew. So I staged a test. Fell asleep in my office to see who would take advantage. Memory floods back. The night I covered him with my coat. That was a setup. It was. He doesn't look away. But you didn't take anything. You gave instead. And what you said, what you whispered, it meant something to me. Something I can't explain. So I wanted to know who you were. By lying? By manipulating me into trusting you? I know how it sounds. You know nothing. Rage burns through the fear. I told you things. About Daniel, about Noah, about my life. And you were just playing some kind of game? It wasn't a game. His voice goes rough. Not after the first conversation. Not after I saw how hard you fight for your son. Lily, I haven't felt human in a very long time. You made me feel human. I don't care what you felt. Noah shifts in my arms, starting to wake. Stay away from us. I can't do that. Watch me make you. You're in danger. The words come out urgent. The threats, the car following you, the calls. They're real. Someone knows I've been spending time with you, and they're using you to get to me. Get to you? Why? What have you done? Vincent's jaw tightens. I inherited my family's business when my father died. Not just the real estate company. Everything underneath it. Operations that exist in the shadows. I've spent the last 15 years trying to balance both worlds. And I've made enemies. The implications settle over me like ice water. You're a criminal. I'm complicated. He takes another step forward. But right now, what matters is that you and Noah are targets because of me. The man who called you, the people following you, they're from a rival organization. They'll hurt you to hurt me. Then I'll go to the police. The police can't protect you from these people. I can. I don't want your protection. I want you to leave us alone. But even as I say it, I see movement behind Vincent. A car pulling up, dark and silent. Doors opening. 2 men step out. Large, wearing suits that hide weapons poorly. They move toward us with casual violence, like predators who've cornered their prey. Vincent sees my expression change and turns, putting himself between me and the approaching men. His whole posture transforms, coiling with lethal intent. "Get in your car," he says quietly. "Lock the doors. Don't get out no matter what happens." "Vincent." "Now, Lily." The first man reaches for something inside his jacket. Vincent moves before I can blink, closing the distance with impossible speed. There's a flash of movement, a sickening crack, and the man goes down hard. The second man pulls a gun, but Vincent is already there, twisting his wrist until the weapon clatters to the pavement. I should be horrified. Should be screaming or running or doing something other than standing frozen, watching this stranger who lied to me dismantle two armed attackers like it's choreographed. But there's something hypnotic about the way he moves. Efficient and brutal and completely controlled. It's over in less than 30 seconds. Both men are on the ground, conscious but incapacitated. Vincent pulls out his phone, makes a call. "Parking lot. 2 of them. Clean it up." He listens for a moment. "No, she's fine. But we need to move now." He turns to me, and there's blood on his knuckles. "I know you have no reason to trust me. I know I've lied and manipulated and put you in danger just by existing near you. But right now, those men know where you live. They know about Noah. If we stay here, more will come. And next time, I might not be here to stop them. Where would we go? Someplace safe. Someplace they can't reach you." I look at Noah, finally awake now, eyes wide as he takes in the scene. He's not crying. He should be crying, but he just looks at Vincent with that same strange recognition he had in his nightmares. "Are you the sad man?" Noah asks. Vincent's expression fractures. "Yeah, kid. I'm the sad man. Are you going to protect Mama? With everything I have." Noah considers this, then looks at me. "I think we should go with him, Mama. Baby, you don't understand. He's like the heroes in my books. The ones who are scary but good. Noah's logic is 6-year-old simple. Bad people are coming. We need a hero." I want to argue. Want to insist we can handle this alone. That we don't need a lying billionaire with criminal connections and blood on his hands. But I see the truth in Vincent's eyes. This is real. The danger is real. And I can't protect Noah from this alone. "How far?" I ask. 2 hours north. Wisconsin. "What about my job? My apartment?" "I'll handle it. Your job is secure. Your apartment will be maintained. But right now, we need to leave." A black SUV pulls up, sleek and expensive. The driver gets out, opens the back door. Vincent gestures toward it. "This is your choice, Lily. You can walk away, take your son, and try to disappear on your own. Or you can trust me one more time. I swear to you, I'll keep you both safe." Noah tugs my sleeve. "Mama, please, I'm scared." That decides it. Not trust, not faith, but fear. The kind of fear that makes you choose the devil you're starting to know over the one you don't. "If anything happens to him," I say, meeting Vincent's eyes, "I will destroy you. I don't care how powerful you are. I will find a way. I believe you." He opens the door wider. "Let's go." I climb into the SUV with Noah on my lap. Vincent slides in beside us, maintaining a respectful distance. The driver pulls away smoothly, and I watch through the rear window as my building grows smaller. My life, disappearing into the distance. Noah falls asleep against my chest within minutes. Exhausted from fear and early morning chaos, Vincent stares out his window, jaw tight, one hand curled into a fist. "The woman who raised me," he says suddenly. "She died when I was 15. Last thing she ever said to me was that nobody should carry the world alone. That I should find people worth protecting, worth being better for." He turns to look at me. "You said those exact words. Do you know how impossible that is? How it felt like she was speaking through you? I don't know what you want me to say. Nothing. I just need you to understand that this isn't random. From the moment you covered me with your coat, something changed. I can't explain it. But you matter, Lily. You and Noah both matter. We're not your redemption project. No." He looks back out the window. "You're just 2 people who deserve better than the danger I've brought into your lives. I'm going to fix that." The drive continues in silence. Chicago gives way to suburbs. then to rural darkness broken only by highway lights. Noah sleeps peacefully, unaware that we're running from monsters that wear human faces. I close my eyes and try not to think about what happens next. Try not to wonder if choosing Vincent Russo's protection will save us or destroy us. Either way, there's no going back now. The safe house isn't what I expected. Set deep in Wisconsin forest, it's modern glass and wood, built into a hillside with views that would be breathtaking if I weren't too terrified to appreciate them. Noah wakes as we pull up, rubbing his eyes and pressing his face to the window. "Mama, it's like a castle." "It's temporary," I tell him, though I'm not sure who I'm trying to convince. Inside, the space is immaculate. Open floor plan, stone fireplace, furniture that looks expensive but comfortable. There's a kitchen stocked with food, bedrooms with fresh linens, even toys in what must be a guest room. Someone prepared for us. Prepared for this exact scenario. How often do you hide people here? The question comes out harsher than intended. Vincent sets down the bag one of his people packed from my apartment. "You're the first." "I don't believe you." "Believe what you want." He moves to the window, scanning the tree line with practiced paranoia. "You'll be safe here." Armed security on rotation, cameras covering every approach, nearest neighbor is 3 miles away. "And you? Where will you be?" "Here, for now." He turns back to me. "I need to coordinate some things, make calls. But I won't leave until I know the situation is contained." Noah tugs my hand. "I'm hungry." "Right. Children need food regardless of whether their mother's worlds are imploding." I head to the kitchen, find eggs and bread, start making breakfast with shaking hands. Vincent watches from the doorway, careful not to crowd. "You don't have to cook. I can order. I need to do something normal." The eggs crack harder than necessary. "Just let me pretend this is normal for 5 minutes." He backs off, disappearing into another room. I hear his voice, low and urgent, giving orders that sound military in their precision. Noah sits at the counter, swinging his legs, observing everything with that unsettling wisdom children sometimes possess. "Is Vincent a bad person?" he asks. I pause, spatula in hand. "I don't know, baby. He's complicated. Bad people don't protect others. They hurt them." Noah's logic again, simple and cutting. "Vincent's protecting us. That makes him good. The world isn't that simple." "Why not?" "Because adults ruin everything with context and compromise and justifications for terrible choices. But I can't say that to a 6-year-old. Eat your eggs." Vincent returns as I'm washing dishes, his expression grim. I need to leave, my hands still in the soapy water. "When?" "Within the hour. There are things I need to handle personally. People who need to understand that touching you was a mistake." He runs a hand through his hair. "I'll be gone 48 hours maximum. Security stays with you the entire time. They're good people, former military. They won't let anyone near this place. You're going to kill them. Not a question. I'm going to make sure they can never threaten you again." He doesn't flinch from the truth. "The men who attacked you this morning were sent by someone named Castellano. He runs operations on the south side. We've had an uneasy peace for years, but he's been pushing boundaries. Using you to get to me crosses a line that can't be uncrossed. So you'll start a war. I'll end one." Vincent moves closer, stopping just short of touching. "I know you think I'm a monster. Maybe you're right, but I'm a monster who keeps his promises. I said I'd protect you. This is how. By killing people? By removing threats." His jaw tightens. "You don't have to like it. You don't have to forgive it. But this is the world I live in, Lily. This is what survival looks like." I want to argue. Want to insist there are other ways, legal channels, authorities who handle these things. But I watched Vincent take down 2 armed men in seconds. I heard the coldness in his voice when he made that call. This isn't someone who operates within normal boundaries. "What happens after?" I ask quietly. "After you handle Castellano. After the threat is eliminated. What happens to us? That's your choice. I'll set you up somewhere safe. New identity if you want it. Enough money to start over. Give Noah the life you've been dreaming about." He pauses. "Or you come back to Chicago. Work for me legitimately. Either way, you're free. Free The word tastes bitter. I don't feel free. I know. Something vulnerable crosses his face. When this is over, I'll explain everything. My family, the business, how I ended up here. You deserve the full truth. But right now, I need you to trust that I know what I'm doing. Noah appears in the doorway, elephant tucked under his arm. Are you leaving? Vincent crouches to Noah's level. Yeah, kid, but I'll be back soon. Promise? Promise. Noah studies him with those two old eyes. You look less sad now. Do I? Yeah. When I saw you in my dreams, you looked like you wanted to disappear. Now you just look worried. He walks forward, wraps his small arms around Vincent's neck. It's okay to be worried. Mama's worried all the time, but we're still here. Vincent's expression completely fractures. He hugs Noah back, carefully, like he's holding something infinitely precious and breakable. When he pulls away, his eyes are suspiciously bright. Take care of your mom while I'm gone, okay? I always do. Noah says it with such certainty that my heart cracks a little. Vincent stands, nods at me once, and leaves. I hear the SUV pull away minutes later, tires crunching on gravel, then silence. Just Noah, me, and armed strangers keeping watch in the woods. We spend the day exploring the house. Noah finds the toy room and immediately builds an elaborate fort with blocks. I try to read, try to focus, but my mind keeps drifting to Vincent, to what he's doing, who he's hurting, the violence being carried out in my name. That night, after Noah falls asleep, I do something reckless. I start searching the house, not for escape routes or weapons, but for truth. If I'm going to be trapped here, I need to understand who Vincent Russo really is. I find his office on the second floor, behind a door that's locked but not seriously secured. It opens after 3 tries with a hairpin. Daniel taught me to use years ago when I locked myself out of our apartment. Inside, it's Spartan. Desk, chair, filing cabinet. But the walls tell stories. Photos pinned to a corkboard. Vincent as a teenager with a woman who must be his mother. Both smiling at a beach somewhere warm. The resemblance is striking. Same dark eyes, same sharp features. Another photo shows him older, maybe 20, standing with an older man in front of a restaurant. The man's hand is on Vincent's shoulder, proprietary and possessive. His father, probably. I move to the filing cabinet. It's unlocked, which seems careless until I realize Vincent probably never expected anyone to be here. Inside are folders, meticulously organized. Business records for legitimate companies. But underneath those are others. Payments to families, addresses I don't recognize, medical bills being covered, tuition payments, housing deposits. I pull out one file at random. Inside is a letter dated 3 years ago, handwritten in careful script. Mr. Russo, I don't know if you'll read this, but I wanted to thank you for paying my daughter's medical bills. When the cancer came back, we thought we'd lose everything. The house, our savings, maybe Emily herself. Your organization covered treatments we couldn't afford. She's in remission now. Whatever you do in your other business doesn't concern me. I just know that without you, my daughter would be dead. God bless you. I open another file. Similar story. Woman whose husband was killed in gang crossfire. Vincent's people paid for the funeral and set up an account for the kids' education. Another file details a shelter for domestic violence survivors, fully funded by anonymous donations traced back to Vincent's offshore accounts. This isn't what I expected. Not a trail of corruption and violence, but complicated acts of conscience. Like someone trying to balance scales that can never truly be balanced. Finding anything interesting? I spin around. One of the security guards stands in the doorway, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a gun at her hip. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Boss said you'd probably snoop. She leans against the doorframe. Said to let you. Transparency or whatever. I'm Sarah, by the way. Lily. I know. She nods at the files. He's been doing that since he took over. Trying to clean up his father's messes. The old man was brutal. Didn't care who got hurt as long as profit came in. Vincent's different. Still ruthless when he needs to be. But he tries to protect civilians. Tries to use the money for something other than accumulation. Why are you telling me this? Because you look at him like you can't figure out if he's a villain or a victim. Sarah's expression softens. Truth is, he's both. We all are in this life. But he's one of the few who seems to hate what he's become. That counts for something. She leaves me alone with the files. I spend hours reading, piecing together Vincent's history. The violence, yes, but also the mercy. The territory wars balanced against charity. The brutal efficiency tempered with attempts at minimizing collateral damage. By the time I close the last file, dawn is breaking. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. But I answer anyway. Lily. Vincent's voice, rough with exhaustion. Are you okay? I'm alive. A pause. It's done. Castellano won't be a problem anymore. His organization is being absorbed by neutral parties. You're safe. Did you kill him? Silence stretches. Then, yes, I should feel something. Horror, disgust, fear. Instead, I just feel tired. Are you coming back? Tomorrow morning. I need to handle some cleanup first, but I'll be there. He hesitates. Did Sarah tell you I said you could look through my things? Yeah. And? And I still don't know what to think about you. The truth. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? A monster. Clear-cut villain I could hate without complication. I press my forehead against the cool glass window. But you're just broken. Trying to fix things while everything keeps falling apart. That's a generous interpretation. It's an honest one. I watch the sunrise paint the forest gold. When you get back, we need to talk. Really talk. No more half-truths or protection through ignorance. If I'm in your world now, I deserve to understand it completely. Agreed. His voice drops lower. Lily, what you said that night, about nobody carrying the world alone, did you mean it? Yes. And let me ask you something terrifying. Would you consider not leaving, not hiding, actually staying, helping me figure out how to be less of a monster and more of whatever the hell I'm supposed to be? My breath catches. You're asking me to choose you. Your world. Your violence. I'm asking you to choose possibility. That maybe together we're better than we are separately. He exhales slowly. But I understand if that's too much. If I'm too much. Through the window, I see Noah wake up, stumble into the living room, rubbing his eyes. He looks around for me. And when he doesn't see me, his expression crumbles with momentary panic. Until I appear. Then he smiles, bright and uncomplicated. I don't know yet, I tell Vincent. Come back safe. Then we'll figure it out. I can work with that. 3 weeks later, I'm back in Chicago. But nothing is the same. The apartment I'm standing in isn't mine. Not technically. It's in that neighborhood I always dreamed about. The one near the park where kids play after dark without parents clutching fear like rosary beads. 2 bedrooms, updated kitchen, windows that lock properly, hardwood floors that don't creak with memories of other people's lives. Noah has his own room, painted blue at his request, filled with toys Vincent sent, even though I told him not to. We can afford our own toys, I'd said. I know. Let me do this anyway, was his response. I'm standing at those windows now, watching November rain streak the glass. The same kind of rain that soaked me that night months ago when everything changed. When I covered a sleeping stranger with my coat and whispered words I didn't know would haunt him. My phone buzzes. Vincent. Still on for tonight? I type back. Noah's with Mrs. Lara. I'll be there by 8. See you then. We don't live together. That was my condition when I agreed to stay, to try whatever this complicated thing between us might become. I needed my own space, my own life that wasn't defined by his money or his shadow. Vincent agreed without argument, bought this apartment outright, put it in my name. When I protested, he just shrugged. You need security. I need to know you're safe. This solves both problems. I also have a new job. Administrative assistant for Russo Enterprises, working directly under the CFO. It's legitimate work, $45,000 a year plus benefits. Real salary, real responsibilities. Jenkins was furious when I gave notice at the janitorial company, probably assuming Vincent and I were sleeping together, that I was trading one kind of work for another. Let him think what he wants. I know the truth. I earned this position through competence, not circumstance. Though circumstance certainly opened the door. The past 3 weeks have been an education in Vincent's world. Not the violent parts. He keeps those carefully separate. But the complexity of trying to untangle criminal operations from legitimate business. It's slow work, frustrating, and sometimes seemingly impossible. Decades of his father's decisions can't be undone overnight. But Vincent is trying, meeting with lawyers, accountants, even federal prosecutors willing to discuss immunity in exchange for information on larger operations. I won't die in this life, he told me during one of our long conversations in the safe house. I refuse to be another casualty of inheritance and bad choices, but extraction takes time. How much time? Years, maybe a decade. He looked at me then, vulnerable in a way that still catches me off guard. I understand if that's too long to wait. If you need certainty, I can't provide. I'd thought about it. Really thought about what I was signing up for. A man trying to become better while still being dangerous. A relationship built on lies that somehow transformed into painful honesty. The risk to Noah, to myself, to any future we might build. Then I remembered those files. The families helped. The shelters funded. The complicated morality of someone trying to balance impossible scales. I'm not going anywhere yet, I'd said. But I reserve the right to change my mind if you backslide. Fair. Now, 3 weeks into our strange new normal, I'm heading to his office. Not for work, but because he called earlier sounding exhausted. The kind of exhaustion I recognize from my own mirror, the kind that comes from carrying too much for too long. I take the train to the building, let myself in through the executive entrance with my new key card. The night security guard waves me through. They all know me now. Vincent's complicated, not quite girlfriend who shows up at odd hours and leaves early in the morning. I'm sure they gossip. I've stopped caring. The elevator takes me to the 28th floor. Through the glass doors, I can see light spilling from Vincent's office. It's 8:43 p.m. He's been in meetings since 6 this morning, navigating the delicate politics of divesting from operations while maintaining enough power to protect the people who depend on him. I knock once, then enter without waiting for permission. Vincent sits at his desk, surrounded by paperwork, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. He looks up when I walk in, and something in his expression shifts. Softens. You came. You sounded like you needed company. I set down the bag I'm carrying. I brought food. Real food, not whatever vending machine garbage you've been surviving on. Have I mentioned you're remarkable? Once or twice. I start unpacking containers. Soup from the diner where I used to work, sandwiches from the deli on the corner, coffee that's still hot. Eat, then tell me what's got you looking like the world is ending. He obeys, and I watch the tension in his shoulders ease slightly as he eats. We don't talk for a while, just exist in the same space. It's become our pattern, these quiet moments where neither of us has to perform, or explain, or justify, just being. Finally, Vincent sets down his coffee. I fired 3 people today. Long-term employees who are still running side operations. I explicitly shut down. They've been with the family since my father's time. One of them was at my mother's funeral. But they were putting you at risk. Yeah. He leans back in his chair. Doesn't make it easier. Especially knowing they have families. People who depend on them. You gave them severance. I saw the checks. I'd processed them myself this afternoon. Generous severance. 6-month salary, insurance coverage, references for legitimate work. Still feels like betrayal. Like I'm destroying the last pieces of my father's legacy. Maybe that's not a bad thing. I move around the desk, perch on the edge near him. From everything you've told me, your father built an empire on fear and exploitation. Dismantling that isn't betrayal. It's evolution. Vincent looks at me. Really looks. And I see the weight he carries. The guilt, the responsibility, the constant calculation of how to be better without getting everyone killed in the process. How do you do it? He asks quietly. Stay optimistic. Keep believing people can change. I don't know if I am optimistic. I just know that cynicism is easier than hope. And easy isn't worth much. I reach out. Trace the scar on his chin with my thumb. You saved my life. Noah's life. You're fighting to become someone different than you were born to be. That matters, does it? What if I fail? What if in 5 years I'm exactly where I started, just with better excuses? Then I'll remind you why you're fighting. And if that doesn't work, I'll walk away. I hold his gaze. But I don't think you'll fail. Stubborn runs deep in you. He catches my hand, presses his lips to my palm. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. We fall into silence again. Outside, rain continues its steady assault on the windows. The same weather pattern from months ago. Like the universe is cycling back to remind us how far we've come. Do you ever regret it? Vincent asks. That night, covering me with your coat, setting all this in motion. I think about it honestly. The fear, the danger, the complete upheaval of my carefully controlled life. Then I think about Noah in his new room, attending a school where teachers actually care. Think about how I don't cry myself to sleep anymore from exhaustion and desperation. Think about the man in front of me, broken and trying and impossibly complicated. No, I say. I don't regret it. Even knowing what I am, what I've done, you're not defined by your worst moments. None of us are. I slide off the desk, pull him to his feet. Come on, you're done for tonight. I have 3 more contracts to review. They'll be here tomorrow. Right now, you need sleep. He doesn't argue, just lets me lead him to the leather couch against the wall. We've done this before, these nights where work bleeds into exhaustion and someone needs to enforce basic human needs. I grab the throw blanket from the chair, the one I bought specifically for these occasions, and drape it over him as he settles onto the couch. Then, because we're past pretending, I settle beside him. His arm comes around me automatically, pulling me close against his chest. I can hear his heartbeat, steady and strong beneath the expensive shirt. Lily? His voice is already heavy with approaching sleep. Yeah? Thank you. For staying. For believing I can be better. Thank you for trying to be better. That's all anyone can do. He's asleep within minutes, breathing deep and even. I should probably go home. Check on Noah, even though I know Mrs. Lara has everything under control. But I stay, matching my breathing to Vincent's, letting the rain create white noise against the windows. My phone buzzes. Text from Noah, dictated to Mrs. Lara. Love you, Mama. Vincent too, if that's okay. I smile, type back. Love you too, baby. And yes, that's okay. Noah's drawing from last week sits framed on Vincent's desk. 3 stick figures under an umbrella, labeled in careful 6-year-old handwriting. Our family. Vincent cried when Noah gave it to him. Actual tears he didn't bother hiding. Then he had it professionally framed within hours. We're not traditional. We're not simple. We're a widow and a criminal and a child trying to build something that resembles normalcy from completely abnormal circumstances. But we're here. We're trying. And maybe that's what family actually means. Not perfection, but persistent effort toward something better. The rain keeps falling. Vincent sleeps peacefully for the first time in weeks, and I let myself believe, just for tonight, that hope is stronger than history, that we might actually make this work, that nobody has to carry the world alone after all.